I'm Jolie and I'm known as AspergerWorld. In today's video I just wanted to chat a little bit about mental health and the anxieties that I have as an autistic person. And that sometimes the world prevents me from truly valuing who I am as a person. I am, and I always have been, terrified of making a mistake, even perceived mistakes. I have memories of being sat in a classroom at school and being 99% sure, certain that I knew what the answer was to the question the teacher was asking. And yet I could never bring myself to put my hand up and say, I know the answer, because I was convinced that I was wrong. I was terrified of making a mistake. It became a big problem when I was a teenager, when I started to realise that people treated me differently because I was different. This lack of self-worth was fueled by society's misunderstandings of me, the gaslighting, the injustice, and the inaccessibility of the world around me. And the thing is, when you're terrified of making a mistake, and you live in the world like this, people do misunderstand you and they mistake your intentions. It's a recipe for disaster. Boom! Poor mental health becomes a tidal wave of self-doubt and anxiety, a natural disaster of natural defence mechanisms being taught to us by a society that does not empower us. Here, put on this mask, you must pretend not to be autistic. You are not allowed to be yourself. That is the message that I often felt like I was getting from the society around me, because I just didn't feel like I was understood or valued for who I was. And so I got it from the outside, and it started to harbour within my heart. And the darkness grew, and I saw it within myself too. In this way, I do not believe my worth. If someone praises me in a way that isn't obvious to me, I tend to reject the praise, and I find loopholes to try and work out how I need to improve. Constructive criticism. And I become a beautiful disaster of self-doubt, a hurricane of anxiety. Battling my darkest thoughts that really shouldn't have existed at that age. And I was frustrated by the constant injustices I saw around me. I desperately needed the world to be fair, and it isn't. I needed people to be honest and have clear, loyal, kind intentions, and they didn't. It created a considerable amount of anxiety. And for me, anxiety is asking your partner several times a day if they love you, partially kidding, but mostly desperately needing to hear it, because you find it so hard to believe that you are lovable. Likewise, it's getting a desperately needed compliment and instantly brushing it off and explaining how it cannot be true, feeling like a failure, an imposter, unworthy and undeserving of the compliment. It's sitting on your sofa and staring at a crack in the wall, knowing that you should do something, but you just can't. It's imagining how that crack in the wall could be the tear that sends shockwaves through the foundations of your home and crumbles your life down around you. It's a genuine concern, not just this fantasy fear. You aimlessly pace your home, sitting, fiddling, clawing at the threads, feeling the cracks in the facade, because that is the only thing that you feel like you can safely do. The only thing where you feel in control. Picking at your self-worth. It's biting your nails until they bleed. And all the while thinking, I need to stop, but I can't. Why? Why can't I stop? It's getting a text message and not replying, because you get a sickness every time the person's name comes up. They hate you, at least you believe it. They don't understand you, you can't bear to reply. The anxiety has altered your perceptions and twisted what you think you know. Anxiety is considering not eating, not cooking, not using cutlery, because you just can't clean the dishes right now. It's imagining the terrible things that could happen. You imagine the scald of water, the stab of cutlery, the sensory onslaught, your shaking hands, smashing a plate and then a cup. You imagine how doing the dishes might deplete your capabilities for later, even though you have nothing important planned. What if something important and impromptu comes up and you can't help because you're too exhausted after doing the dishes? What if you just can't handle the anxiety well enough to realise that these what if statements are very unlikely? And these are the what if statements that plague my mind every day. Anxiety in this way is facing everything with a huge spike of adrenaline, where you're constantly in between fight or flight. All of the normal reactions to everyday fear or excitement or confusion is multiplied by a million, until it seems almost impossible to face. And thanks to my autism, I am always justice seeking, and I'm following rules, laws and social protocols. Punctuality, honesty and loyalty are my passions. I always treat others with the respect and the kindness and the helps that I would like to receive. And yet, oh goodness, I struggle to treat myself with the same kindness and understanding. The world at my shoulders seems to be broken somewhat, and it broke me with its gaslighting. I now know that my world and my needs was never wrong, but I wish I knew it back then when I was a teenager. And the thing to remember, the crucial thing with anxiety and our world, is that with time, our experiences, our perceptions and our understanding will change. It can improve. Whenever there is a struggle, there is room for improvement. And if you are trying your best to be your best, then that is perfect. No one can justifiably tell you off for doing your best. With time, our nails will grow after we've bitten them. With time, we will see the truth in our reality and not our fears. We will accept compliments as truth. We will believe that we are worthy of love, and we will face that mounting to-do list with healthier coping mechanisms. Anxiety can feel uncontrollable, and it can feel very hard to deal with, but it can be safely managed with time. That's the end of my video. I hope you liked it. Can anyone relate? Drop me a comment and we'll have a little chat. I will see you on my next upload. Bye!